Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright. So there's some things I want to share with y'all. So a few years ago, I was in a dark place, and I went with my father, and we went to a trip down in Southern Oregon, Eugene. It's more like Central Oregon, and we met some people that friends of my dad's, who become friends of the families, whom I've known off and on throughout my whole life, and it was like another family. It was a couple of families that were together because there was a celebration. It wasn't really the celebration. I forget exactly why were we there. I forget. It was like some type of I think a family meeting or something like that. But anywho, it was a number of families coming together, and me and my dad's friend went there to because my dad's friend, his daughter was a part of was a partner to the male gentleman whose family was there, and then there was another family there because the dude also had a brother and the brother brought his family, so there was probably about a dozen of us. And I was in a really dark place, and just being in that environment, like, I didn't really say anything, but just being there around a very loving atmosphere was enough to inspire me to continue living, and that there's hope for humanity, and like the simple things of just being around good people. It did so much sustenance for me. Like, this is a time when I'm doing all this kratom and stuff and like barely hanging on, and then I'm like, damn, all I need to do is like just being around decent people and away from my loneliness and my sadness and all this and that. That was enough to uplift me. Like, I didn't need these drugs. I had kind of an epiphany that I didn't need all these drugs and all this and that, and like there's more power in us coming together in the right way than we realize. And so that gave me a lot of inspiration and hope. But one thing that I remember while being there is the dude's name. His name is Daniel. Excuse me. Who he's the one who I think married to my dad's daughter's friend. And he's a very I remember at the time looking at him, like, I thought he was like the Monkey King and shit. Like, he just looked extremely enlightened. He was like the same age as me. Except just like full of light and beauty and positivity, and he had a great voice. He could speak very well. He had a lot of confidence. He was good looking. He was strong. Like, his family is a bunch of climbers and shit, so they're very physical, capable men. And I'm looking at him like, damn, he's just a beautiful person. He's just got all these beautiful things about him. And anyways, I remember listening to him talk, and he has like this enlightenment class that he goes to. I don't know if he leads it or he helps lead it or is just a follower. I feel like he might have more of a leading presence. But anyways, he was talking about one of his classes or sessions or experiences he had with there. And I think he was talking to somebody who was dealing with a lot of sorrow and suffering. And he brought up something that I think it was one of his elder teachers shared with him in regards to suffering. And essentially, it's like when you get deep enough into enlightenment and you reach a place to where everything appears to be funny. And I've been there. I mean, I can remember, I can relate to what that feels like. I remember being there because sometimes when I trip on acid, I'll just start laughing, I'll just find everything funny. It's a very enlightened perspective, because once you realize, I mean, everything that's happening is happening for a reason. And like, nobody is a victim, and nobody is really got anything above anybody else. Like, everything is more even than people think. And like, we live in this quote unquote illusion that creates this separation between things, and from that everything else comes. All the ego, all the bullshit, all the goodness, all the badness, all that comes from that. So I've been thinking about that. Because it's like, why am I getting so angry and disturbed, and like, why am I feeling all these negative and dark feelings in regards to what's going on here on the planet? And when I look at these children suffering in Africa, laughing at that doesn't equate that situation. It just doesn't. It doesn't solve the situation. And I also feel it's largely that area, that situation, that is radiating so much pain and misery into the ethers. And it's been doing it for so long. It's literally like an echoing boom of suffering and sorrow that continues to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's this echoing voice of power of suffering that's been magnified and radiates throughout the entire universe. And it's so powerful that those of us sitting on planet laughter, just sitting back laughing in our enlightenment and our bliss, are affected by it. And it's come to our realization that just doing what we're doing, sitting here on cloud nine, enjoying ourselves while others are suffering, isn't doing the job. It isn't cutting the bill. It isn't, whatever that expression is, it isn't doing the job. So, upon this recollection, I feel totally okay with being angry, with being sad, with being frustrated, with getting emotional when I know that there's 10,000 kids approximately that die every single day because they don't have enough food in their bellies. And when I don't see hardly any attention brought to this matter, and yet I see all these people talking about all these other things that do not matter as much as these children suffering when it comes to dire issues. There's ways to rate and level these things. Okay, there's nothing. Give me an example. I'm open to hearing something that is more detrimental on a fundamental level of pain and suffering as opposed to starving children. Share with me something that is more profound than that, and I will pay attention to that. So, again, it's completely good, in my opinion, for people to be angry and frustrated and sad and all sorts of types of emotional mess at the fact that we're living in a time and space in this reality when we have 10,000 kids dying because they don't have enough food in their bellies. And yet, I live in America where people have way more than they need. And instead of helping out the ones that don't even have enough to put food in their bellies, we're sitting here complaining because we have to pay a little bit more money for groceries. That is the reality that we are living in, okay? And now you guys know how it feels like from my perspective. So again, I would like to see more people getting emotional about things that really matter instead of worrying about, sex and relationships and fucking petty monies and bullshit like that, when literally there's people over there fucking dying because they ain't got fucking food in their bellies. I mean, and the sad thing, again, I've said this and I'm going to keep fucking saying it. And I'm going to continue showing these pictures with you because you guys need to see this. Because a lot of you, if you were there in Africa around this situation, you would probably devote your life to fucking helping these people out. But because we're here in America, we're not aware of this shit. Even though it's there and we know it's there, but we don't want to pay attention to it because we don't see it all the time. So I'm doing what I can to put it in your faces, to share it with you guys so you guys don't run from the truth. Yeah, it hurts, but it sets you free. And until we deal with these situations the way that they should be, things aren't going to get better for us collectively. That's how I feel. So, all right, I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.